Today I woke up to the news of Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks losing to a EuroLeague team in an NBA preseason game. And does that really surprise any one of you? And I'm not trying to say, oh yeah, EuroLeague teams are now better than the NBA teams. We should cancel the NBA. EuroLeague is better. Europe is taking over the world. We saw what happened in the World Cup. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this is an NBA preseason game, and the amount of overreactions I saw in the comments of the highlights is crazy. But let's pull it back a little bit and just talk about the fact that the EuroLeague team was playing an NBA team again. These games were a regular thing from 2006 till 2015. 16, we saw them every year, but there's been a really long break, and this was actually the first game after 7 years. And actually, I'm just looking right now, in 2016, the last two games of this NBA versus EuroLeague were played by Oklahoma City Thunder, who played Real Madrid and Barcelona, and they lost against Real Madrid. So now Real Madrid is 2 wins in a row against NBA teams. So I do hope these games are coming back with the new EuroLeague CEO and maybe the new relationships that NBA and EuroLeague is having. But okay, let's talk about that actual game and why I think it actually doesn't mean anything. Well, first of all, the fact that it is a preseason game says everything you need to know. Luka Doncic played only 5 minutes in that game, and they were the first 5 minutes because he started and he got subbed out, and I think he only played those 5 minutes so that the local crowd wouldn't get like annoyed that their biggest star returned and then he doesn't play at all. But also Kyrie didn't play. Just in general, looking at the box scores, Real Madrid had 16 guys step on the court, while Dallas Mavericks had actually 17 people play some minutes. So if you think this game means anything to any of the teams, come on. I mean, the intensity wasn't there at all. It felt like a NBA regular season game. Shots fired. No, but actually, like, sometimes it felt like an all-star game, if I'm being honest, because the players were walking on defense, no effort whatsoever. And when you think about it, for Real Madrid, who actually already started their season, this wasn't their first game of the season. It wasn't even a preseason game for them. They already are in season because they played 4 games in the Spanish league. They played 1 game in the EuroLeague, and they have another game coming up in the EuroLeague on Thursday, like tomorrow. So for them to risk their players getting injuries was, doesn't make any sense. So some of these guys that would play, in the starting lineup and play 25 to 30 minutes in the EuroLeague played like 10 minutes. These rotations were, telling a lot about how much the team cared about this game. And just the fact that a EuroLeague team beat an NBA team isn't actually that surprising. Real is actually the reigning champion of the EuroLeague and not just some soccer team like someone tweeted here. Also, they kept their whole core from last year together, so this team is solid, and they added Facundo Campazzo, who actually played for the Mavericks a year before. And in general, if I go through the list of players that they have, there's so many former NBA players, even the young guy Janan Musa, who played in the Nets for a bit, Yabusele for the Celtics, Tavares for Hawks, Sergio Llull actually never played, but he was close, Rudy Fernandez, Vincent Poirier, Sergio Rodriguez, Mario Hezonja. All of those players I listed played in the NBA, and why does it surprise anyone that they beat an NBA team without their 2 biggest stars, Kyrie and Luka? It doesn't surprise me at all. Let me hit pause for a second. While editing, I realized one interesting detail about this game. First of all, shout out to Dante Exum for a solid game with 13 points and 9 assists. But the interesting part is that Exum played in the EuroLeague last season for Partizan, and during their playoff series versus Real, this happened.
Now with 5 to go, and there's a foul up top, and there you know it's going to happen sooner or later. Oh boy. Oh. Come on now, this isn't what we want. This is not what we want. And there's the result of that is Exum has to get carried off the floor.
I'm sure this game in Madrid was a bit more personal for the Australian, and the fact that Mavs fumbled the game in the end must have sucked. I do see some people going world champion of what in the comments, or Real Madrid will easily win the NBA. And that's what I mean by overreactions in the comments. Someone says that the NBA could now open its European conference, but I think, when you actually think about it, an NBA team would have to travel all the way to Europe to play a regular season game, and that's just not logistically possible. Okay, if you're in New York, it takes like 5 hours to fly over to, let's say, Spain. But what happens when you need to fly all the way from the West Coast? That just doesn't make any sense. So I don't see this as a viable option. But if we actually try to think about more realistic opportunities for NBA teams to play EuroLeague teams, you know, the little tournament they were doing in the midseason right now, maybe you could involve the EuroLeague teams there. That's the only one where I could see that actually working, because you could get those teams somehow in one location. Maybe they change that tournament to be more localized, more like, you know, Orlando bubble or something like that. Just thinking out loud. But the most likely option, I think, is that we'll see more of these friendlies, and that's all we're gonna get. But that's fine. And I saw actually some teams that were not from the EuroLeague also playing against NBA teams. One New Zealand, one Australian team. And they got, you know, ran over by 60 and 40 points. So that's telling a little bit about the European basketball and its level compared to other overseas leagues. Okay, just to wrap it all up, I'm very happy that these games are back. I hope there's more of them, but ultimately, keep in mind, this is the preseason for the NBA teams, and for EuroLeague teams, they cannot risk players getting injuries, so the results don't really matter that much. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for a Giannis jersey. Bye.